Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. It's your girl, Milagros here. And today, during the month of April, actually, we are going to be talking about releasing and letting go. Oh yeah, it's time. And I know some of you are looking at this hat like, really, what's with the hat? Stay with me. It's all a part of the lesson. So during the month of April, I decided that April would be the month of practicing release because it's perfect. It's the transition between the cold winter and into the actual spring. It's the month of rain, which cleanses and lets go and purges. And it's also the month where we start to shed ourselves of the heavy layers that we wore in the winter and move into the lighter layers of the spring. And the same thing, metaphorically speaking, could be done internally that's being done externally. So for a lot of us, releasing means letting go of the things, not for a lot of us. Releasing means letting go of the things that are hindering or harming us. And it's a fundamental piece of finding and holding on to and maintaining our freedom. So I want you to think about the analogy of a bird in a cage. And if you stuff a bird in a cage and then you say, "You're free," that bird is like, "I am not free. I am stuck in this cage." We put ourselves in cages sometimes, and sometimes it's necessary. Maybe we had a broken wing, and putting ourselves in this protective little bubble allowed other people to feed us and to take care of us. And then it gets to the point where you're strong enough, you have to get out of that cage. You can fly on your own and hunt for your own food. Ooh, that's good. That's a good, but moving on. Okay, so for some people, the things that they need to release are expectations of other people, excuses and justifications, time constraints that they put on their own lives, certain jobs, certain toxic people and relationships in your life that are no longer helpful or healthy for you. It could be blaming other people. It could be old hindering beliefs or ideas or perspectives. You know, it could be a vast array of things, including lies that we continuously tell ourselves. And the reality is, let's be clear, when those things first came into our lives, they really did serve a purpose, and they were a necessary part of our evolution and our personal growth. So they were necessary. So I want us to be able to look back on those things, and rather than look back and feel shame or guilt or any of those unnecessary negative emotions, we can look back and say, that was a part of my story at that time. It served a purpose at that time. It no longer serves a purpose, and it's time for me to release and let go of this thing. But the problem is, a lot of us get to this place where it is well past its expiration date, and we still choose to hold on to it because we got so comfortable in the holding on. But then my question for you is, you're holding on to this thing, to this person, to this job, to this relationship, to this whatever. And are you feeling peaceful? Are you feeling freedom? Are you happy? Because if it feels like something that feels like a fight or a struggle, if it feels like something that you have to defend or protect or hide, it is not something that's contributing to your freedom or your peace, I guarantee it. It is something that is hindering and harming you. So that's a great indicator that it's time to let it go. And we cannot rectify what we do not identify. So it is really, really important that we start paying attention. So this is my one nugget for you in this video, is start paying attention to the things in your life that feel heavy and weighed down. And that feels scary too, right? Because sometimes it's scary to let this thing go, because if we let it go, maybe we'll have to go at it alone. But you have everything in you that you need to do that. And you're resourceful and you're resilient and you're creative. And maybe we'll have to fully own our lives. But then we get to fully own our lives. And maybe we have to change some things. But change is part of the growth and the evolution and the process. And that's a good thing. Change is amazing and incredible. And maybe it means we have to take action. Good. Own your life. Take action. And maybe it means we have to worry less about what other people think about us. But what other people think about you, honey, is not your business. Somebody is always going to have something to say. We cannot allow that to limit who we are, our growth, our evolution, and our search for our peace and freedom. It's ours. You can say whatever you want. I know I feel the peace. I know I feel free. You can go ahead and run your mouth. That clearly is not what works for you, but your focus should be on you, right? So again, I get that it's scary, but there are even ways that we can debunk those things that feel scary. And until we come up to it and we really come up against it, do we realize how amazing and strong and capable and resilient we are, and how actually it turns out most of the time it's not even that scary. It really isn't. It's our expectation and creation of the idea that it's going to be scary that scares us more than the actual thing. Speaking of scary, I had made the decision to cut my hair, and then I really freaked out, and then I couldn't do it for a couple of months, and I really had to process, why is this so scary for me? And I recognized that I had identified a lot of who I was with my hair. It was like a security blanket. And then I realized that my hair for a while was feeling like a struggle and a fight, and like I was trying to defend my naturalism or my whatever. And then I was like, oh, gross, it's time. So I cut it off. So I cut off my hair because I just needed to, and I needed to come up against the scary, and it's not so scary, and I actually like it. And I mean, it looks like kind of crazy right now because I was wearing a hat, but you get it. I feel so free and so light, and that's how we're supposed to live, light and free, and the things that we think are scary really aren't. But we can't live light and free until we release. And last thing I want to say about this, if you let that bird out of the cage and the bird's flying around your house, that bird feels so free. And there may come a time where that space in that house is no longer enough freedom, and the bird needs to go out and really soar, right? And we're no different. Sometimes we're in a spot and we're meant to be there for a reason and there's a purpose. But when that time comes to an end, we have to move into the next level of our expansion, of our freedom. And sometimes we get there, and that after a while, that is no longer the thing that feels free anymore either. We need to keep evolving and growing, and it's so beautiful and wonderful, and it's super sparkly, everything. So, my one nugget, tap into yourself. Start paying attention to the things that feel hindering and heavy, like a fight, like a struggle. Ugh. And then those are the things that you need to release because they're keeping you from your peace and your freedom. If you journal it. If not, have conversations, engage your other friends. Say, hey, this month I'm going to focus on paying attention to the things in my life that I might need to release so I can really actually get to a place of freedom. See if you can't get a partner, like an accountability partner, right? Because you deserve it. You deserve to live a life of freedom. So that's what I have for you. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your week. I hope that your weekend is super sparkly, everything. And I hope that you are moving each day to getting closer and closer to living in your peace and your freedom because you deserve it. Period. That's it.